needs to start.
Okay. Seem to be fine over. Okay. I would like to call this September 10th regular council meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Roll call. We have 4 of our 5 council members. And crew. All right, if we can rise and say the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To start, have you got any specific public comments, or ready to go, Stephen?
There we go. I gotta get that mounted onto the other side of the table.
Any comments from the public on the council meeting? Okay. For the council, any items on our consent agenda that need to be removed?
If we want to discuss what they're for, we have to remove them.
Yeah.
There's a couple. The Winkler on the claims.
You want to pull the claims out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess just a note that in the minutes, it's Jody Morse, not Julie. Other than that, they're fine.
Jody Moore.
Jody.
Jody.
Library.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if that's
Y.
why?
Jody.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that needs to be? Okay.
I'm good.
Any items you guys want to see added to the agenda?
I'd like to talk about, in brief, about the cemetery endowment.
Okay.
And I don't know if we want to discuss it tonight, but we'll see how, as far as maybe our water reservoir, or adding more capacity
Okay.
tank. It kind of goes along with I think the well a little bit, what we're doing.
Okay.
So, I mean, we can throw it in at the same time. So, that's it.
Okay. Anything else?
From me.
Okay.
Were you gonna cover anything associated with the ADA ramp stuff?
I was not planning on it, so. you want-
I was just curious what the status of that was.
Completed. You want to bring it up and or you want to just bring it up in mayor's comments and?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And in Mayor's comments, were you gonna talk about the ephemeral stream?
Yes. Okay. If you would like to give us a library report?
I will do my best with my chatty babe here.
Sure.
So on August 1st, we switched our hours to kind of accommodate the school not being open on Fridays anymore. So we were kind of anticipating that, we knew it was in the pipeline. So instead of Tuesday, Thursday, we're now Tuesday, Friday. And then the first Saturday of the month, we're open. So trying to get people maybe that are working in on a Saturday, kids coming in on Saturday. Our biggest change is We had a preschool story time on Tuesdays, and now we're doing that on Fridays at 11. And now that the Harrington School isn't preschool on Fridays, we've had 3 new families come to that. So we now have 4 families that are coming to our story time. So we're really excited that we're actually kind of hitting our target for that. And we're on Fridays, we're doing Legos at the library at 2. And we've had 4 or 5 kids each week that are actively participating in that. And so the community is encouraged to, so there's a monthly theme of like camping, and then one week it'll be like, what do you eat while you're camping? And then the kids have to build the Lego of what they're eating. And then community members are encouraged to vote on their favorite on Facebook, on Instagram, walking into the library. So that's been kind of fun. The kids get like a sucker or something kind of as their prize if they win that week. So that's been really fun, even starting in August now, kind of kids were gone. So we're really hoping that that continues to improve during the school months.
Are you guys gonna be buying the new $10,000 Death Star Lego set?
You can donate it. How's that? The first Saturday of the month, besides just being open from 9 to 1, we have a new program called Stitch and Chat. So we're encouraging people to come in with cross-stitch projects, knitting, crochet, and the last 2 that we've had, our first 2, we had 9 people that attended the first one and 6 people that attended the second one, which was the Vintage Harvest Day. So there were quite a few people who were like, oh, I can't go, it's Vintage Harvest. So we're really hoping that that'll be kind of fun and just get more people kind of into the library for additional programming. Tuesdays are open 2 instead of 1 to 5. We shifted 2 to 6 to hopefully grab a couple people, you know, that are working till 5. So we've had 1 or 2 people that are actually coming in now in that 5 to 6 hours. So we're really kind of seeing hitting a little bit of new people that. And I just wanted to highlight some past events. In June, we had the Inland Empire Legal Aid group come down. They're a pro bono law firm in Spokane, and they actually reached out to us. They were doing a bunch of rural area target groups for, we had to come down for wills and estate planning. We really felt like that was something that could benefit our community. And we were really proud because we had 4 people that came, and we're like, oh, that's not very many. And they're like, Davenport didn't have any. So we're like, woohoo! So we were super excited that we actually had 4 people that were interested, and the group, the Inland Empire Legal Aid, was so enthused with our area that they're like, we want to come back, right? We want to come back maybe in the winter, in the spring, to kind of see if there's more, like, either a different topic that they can cover or do wills. So they just kind of answered questions for people that they had about wills and estate planning, and all free. And they actually had a notary. I was like, the person that can sign things. A notary there. That was really exciting. And we had our summer reading program was 4 weeks in July, bridged into August. And there were 15 to 23 kids per day that were there, which is a 50% increase from last year.
That's excellent.
So we're really excited with that. We started out with an event with Mobius Science Center out of Spokane. They came down and presented battle bots. So the kids took, like, you know, toilet paper rolls and shoe boxes and stuff and made robots, and, you know, they powered them up, and so they had battles with their robots. And then the whole rest of the programming through the other weeks was very much STEM oriented, engineering, building, and that sort of stuff. So everyone was pretty excited about that. And an ongoing program that we have is a reading challenge. It's a 12-book reading challenge. So if you want to think 1 book per month. But we have 15 people signed up for that year-long challenge, and kind of each book that you read, you get a ticket into a drawing. So if you read all 12 books, you get 12 tickets into the drawing. We've already had one gal has already finished all 12 books. She finished 3 or 4 months ago, so she got a $25 gift card to the Mercantile, right? So we're really excited to involve we're kind of hitting our kid group, but then we're also trying to target some of our adult things as well. Upcoming events, we're gonna be open during Fall Fest, just kind of our normal Saturday hours, 9 to 1. I know it'll kind of be during the parade, but we just wanna have our doors open. And then we'll have some books kind of for sale, some that are extra that are donated. That's gonna be donation based for book sale. So we'll be there to kind of have our face open. Instead, we've done the table at the park before, but we really felt like if we kind of just have the library open, that might be a better solution. So we're gonna try that this year. On October 7th, we're going to host kind of a private little meeting of the Wheatland Library Consortium. So Ritzville, Odessa, Davenport, Reardon, Wilbur, and Sprague are part of this Wheatland Library. And so we're part of that, but we really we've kind of just dipped our toes into it. But it's basically an idea to get all the local libraries kind of either working together, sharing resources. You can do interlibrary loans. So we haven't really utilized a lot of that yet. So we're taking the initiative to say like, hey, let's have a meeting, let's see what works with the other libraries. So we're gonna talk like what works social media, who's your audience, like what sort of programs are you doing Legos, that sort of thing. So that's coming up in about a month. And then October 24th, Karen Robertson has agreed to do kind of an introduction to dulcimer. I know she's done that a couple times, but this one's gonna be specifically kind of hosted from the library for 4th through 6th grade. And December 6th during the hometown Christmas will be open. That's the first Saturday of the month. So we're gonna do our normal stitch and chat, and then also an adult craft to kind of, again, everyone's gonna be downtown, we want our doors open.
Yep.
There's gonna be a Christmas party on December 12th for the kiddos. And we're in the process, since school's closed on Fridays, we're working on ways that we can collaborate with the school. So we're really trying to hope that we can work on a few more ways to either host projects or encourage kids to come down and do homework there or do the Legos on Friday. So kind of looking for ideas and wanting to reach out to the school to have a couple of those ideas to see how we can kind of help the school and the community. Our social media, we really tried to make an effort to increase our followers. So on Instagram, we went from 8 to 50 over the summer. So that's huge. We're super excited about that because we were posting all these things. We're like, well, did you know, like this was open, this was closed. When we had AC problems, we were posting that. So I think that really reached people now that we actually have more followers. And Facebook, we're at 137, we were about at 100 before summer. And so the librarian is posting about our open hours, our programming, really highlighting our digital collection. So that's kind of my update, but then did you want me to talk any budget or just, did you guys have questions? You're good on budget? Okay, perfect.
We'll bring that up because they haven't seen it yet.
Okay, perfect. I think my only note is that we're very happy with our librarian. So we've put an increase in her salary. And so that's kind of, I just want to point that out, that we're really pleased with her work. So we're hoping that will encourage her to stay.
Got it.
Not that she's trying to leave, but it's just always nice. And I am the outgoing president because of a certain young child. So Rebecca Hardy is our new president for the library.
Okay.
So next year can be my child making the noise.
I know, yeah. We'll just swap it out for a different thing. I did want to just say thank you guys in person. You have allocated $500 towards archiving of our newspapers. We got a little bit behind after COVID. Everything obviously shut down and it never really got that going again. So we have 4 years worth of newspapers, which every year they used to get bound up in these really nice books. And we just haven't done that. We haven't sent them in. So kind of when we're thinking about our budget and what can we afford, we can have a certain amount allocated for that, not 4 years worth. So we're really thankful that you guys are putting some money towards that because I think it is helpful for the community, the just to have, you know, the Davenport Times and now the Record Times kind of cataloged in there for people to go back and look what was happening in 2020. Lynn McGowan had to step down from her position of the board, and so we have a vacancy, but we have a recommendation. Do you want that?
Sure.
Now, okay. So we had two candidates actually, so we're really excited that the other woman, Suzanne, is going to be really welcomed into a volunteer role, but the board unanimously voted to recommend Kelly Chaney. So that we're really hoping that will help with our school connection. So that's our recommendation to you to fill the 1 year remaining on Lynn McGowan's term, obviously with the option to serve another 5 years, but it's a 1 year position to fill that vacancy. Okay, and then are there any questions or any concerns that the board can address from anything that you've heard from community members, anything like that?
I'm good.
I just say two things. Thank you for your time as president. I think Denise kind of kicked things off strong, but you took over well, and I wouldn't have expected the library to be where it's at now. So you guys have done a wonderful job.
Well, we appreciate the support of the city and keeping us going with the budget, with funding and all, and just getting us the word out there for the community. I think it's great to be able to have the library, so thank you.
And this brings me to the second point. At least this is one person's opinion. This doesn't represent the whole council. But one thing I've been saying to the now president is that I've said for a while that I was fine to see the library get some funds to get back on its feet and stuff, but I encourage more financial independence for the library. I've encouraged fundraisers or Friends of the Library program or something. I'm not saying complete financial independence, but at least for my vote, and I'm only speaking for myself, part of my interest in giving a generous funding to get things up and running was I knew there was a lot of backlog to get through. And so I'm hoping we actually see some of that budget come a little bit less from the city in the future.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you have any sort of range on like what less means or?
No, I haven't really thought that
Okay.
far through with it, but I kind of feel like enough things are firing on more cylinders that we're probably at the time to start looking that direction.
Okay.
And I hope, my intent is that it would not mean that the library would operate with less funds. It just would mean hopefully that more of those would come from the community directly. Because the other thing is the library serves the greater community, right? You're not a member of the city, right? So that's part of why I believe this, is that if the library is going to serve the greater community, the greater community should have some say in shouldering some of the funds rather than just the city, which ostensibly is here to serve the people who are actually in town.
Yes, that makes sense.
Good.
Okay, and then I just, sorry, I'm looking back at my notes. The one other thing, just to, ask you guys, you as a council, to continue to promote the library, like you were saying, to kind of encourage and to tell people about the kids' events and the adult events and all that sort of thing. And then kind of our other thing is just the issue of maybe some lights in the back room when you're kind of operating with one stand lamp. But we don't really use that other than us going back there for storage. So if that's a matter of getting a few more light bulbs that are in there, but that's kind of our one kind of like, there's only one functioning light bar.
We'll
In the front. We didn't do the back room, but.
Yes, the front lights are lovely, and that's why it's like such a contrast, because the front is so amazing, and then you go in the back, you're like, oh, there's one like flickering light bulb. So, but like I said, we are the only ones that are going back there for storage and stuff. So from the public standpoint, lights are primo.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Sorry for the extra noise. We have seating parents, so otherwise I wouldn't have Thank you all.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye. Okay, and the library candidate appointment is actually the next item on our agenda.
Okay.
So,
So moved.
for,
Kelly, the
Okay.
recommendation
Need a
given.
second?
Yeah.
A second.
okay. We have a first and a second. Do we have any conversation or discussion over the selection of Kelly Tanky for the library board?
I'm good.
I'm good. All in favor say aye for appointing Kelly Tanky to the library board.
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, 4-0. All right. So next on the agenda, I have an executive session to discuss one of the contracts that the city has. So we can go into the other room. Do you guys have an idea what it's about? So how long do you think we need?
Oh, 15?
Are we still gonna have other people on the phone?
Yeah, I'll have to
Okay.
burn.
I think it probably will go beyond that.
Yeah.
Well, we can, it's a good way to cut it
We're
short.
charged by the hour, right?
Maybe I missed it, but did we, public comments, did we already?
Yeah, we-
Oh, yeah, I thought, there's nobody.
Okay, so 20 minutes?
Started there.
Start with
Yeah.
20.
Okay, so we will enter into an executive session for 20 minutes, starting at 7:22. So this is the boring part, council meeting experience.
7:22, you said?
The City Council is extending their executive session for another 10 minutes, which means that we would come out of executive session at 7:52 p.m. We're on.
All right. Back from executive session.
You have, so Gavin got it for you.
Thank you, Gavin.
At 7:52. Thank you for that extension, for your patience.
They're still here.
Where else
Okay.
would they go?
Next item on our agenda is to review the contract performance with MKB Landscaping. Any motions, recommendations?
A motion that we send a letter of default with appropriate documentation.
With the attorney's
Yeah, through our attorney.
author. I'll second that.
Okay. Okay, so there's a motion to send a letter of default with documentation. Any further discussion?
So my concern with this is that we do have Fall Fest coming up. And there is potentially a world, given what's in the contract, that they could say, they could receive the letter and the same day say, screw it, we're out. And by tomorrow evening or the day after, we have nothing. So I think that it's incumbent upon us
Contingency.
that we need to have a contingency plan. Now, is it likely that they'll take some time to respond or they might want to cure? Yes, but I think, I don't want to be at Fall Fest and be like, well, why isn't the cemetery mowed? Well, we didn't expect that things were going to happen the way they did.
The city park would be almost,
Well, okay, fine, yeah,
We took care of it before, we can get the community to take care of it again,
Well-
if it happens.
okay. I'm
Just
just,
gotta put the word out that
I'm
we need
saying-
people to help.
well, that's fine, but we also, equipment and stuff, and so I'm wondering, you know, David, I know you had looked before, did you find specific lists of municipal? It would be good to have in mind and maybe make some calls to see, because if they tell us
A rental
they're
or something?
done, we should have them, I think we should have an emergency meeting, authorize funds, and purchase the equipment. At least,
I've got access to a brand new John Deere zero turn, zero radius mower that's just sitting and hasn't.
well, and I'm not
So-
debating so much that we can't pull together and get a week of mowing or 2 weeks of mowing, but we're not at the end of the
Going forward.
season yet, and so, and next year we're gonna need, unless we're gonna put in place a contract with another company, we're gonna need the equipment anyway. So yes, even if we can't get the equipment within a week and we have to do it through the community, great, thank you, community members, but we need a long-term solution in place sooner than later if this contract dies.
well, if it dies, we have now provisions in place for contracts and compliance and
I would suggest if the
procurement.
contract doesn't, if the default response isn't what we're expecting, that we have a special council meeting to discuss any contingencies required. I don't think they should be discussed now.
I agree. That's fair.
How many days, how many weeks till Fall Fest? 3?
Two,
Two.
maybe?
2.
It's the 27th. So, 2.5 weeks.
So, any further discussion?
Well, I agree with Councilman Hardy. We do need to come up with, I mean, just briefly, we don't have to decide tonight, but we gotta know what we're up against, kind of. Because
Yeah.
we've talked about this in depth, the three of us have.
Yeah, well, I've been looking at if that happens, what's
This thing-
out there, and I don't have
It's
an
loading.
exact solution, but I know they're out there.
This is John Deere, I believe the vendor is John Deere Company, but they do have a state, what it's called, state bid, buy off the,
Well, we've got access to the, what is it, DES?
right, but in
Department of Enterprise
23,
Services. So,
just to give you an idea, the John Deere Z950R zero turn Z-Track was with everything was $13,939.
Any discussion associated with
So-
an equipment purchase, if there is an equipment purchase, is gonna have to be an in-depth discussion, because the equipment is either gonna be owned by the city or owned by the cemetery. And then one of the two is gonna have a use contract for it. So it's gonna be a much longer discussion.
yeah, that's a very good point.
Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah, it wasn't about figuring out what particular equipment and how much. I'm just saying the concept of being prepared to be ready to go, because we won't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And to know where these things are and to have an idea of what kind of stuff is in stock. Are these type of things in stock in some place in Harrington? Are they at Popeye? Are they out of stock? Is it going to take months? And all of that is irrelevant of what model it is and exactly how much it is. It's just saying, how screwed are we if something happens that we don't expect to happen? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. We know there's equipment out there. And that much I know. I mean, I've spoken to enough people, you know where there's equipment. I guess in the short term,
Yeah,
if we
we all know.
can get through the rest of the season, which is not long, then we do it. As a community, as friends.
Might have to bribe them, but
Okay. I know a place where you can get pizza and beer. After.
Right.
Afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor of sending a letter of default with documentation by our attorney, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, what time have we got? 8 o'clock. I'm gonna move the agenda a little bit. We put because it's relevant to, actually, we can talk about the water usage efficiency plan right now, but then I wanna move the irrigators Inc. quote up before we have a utility rate conversation. So, did you guys have a chance to review this? This was done in July.
Yeah, I've read it.
So, as part of our water system plan, we need to adopt a water use efficiency plan. And this is what was recommended by our water system engineer.
We talked about that several months ago, didn't we?
We didn't approve putting it in place.
Okay. But at the time, my memory serves correctly, it was kind of just a formality. It wasn't going to hold our feet to the fire on it, was it?
I thought so too, but apparently this is something, this is a box that has to be checked off on our water system plan for getting it approved by Department of Health.
Is it going to pigeonhole us in
No.
any fashion? Okay.
No, and I asked if we had to have an ordinance or a resolution or anything like that, and he said pretty much we agree, the city agrees to adopt these goals for the future, and even the council minutes is enough to check off that box.
So moved.
Thank you, Stephen.
You sent this out, well, where did I think? Do you have can I see that
Oh, yeah.
copy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Thank you. Discussion?
This thing just smells. Is there any other dialogue that goes with this or print?
So basically, we're just adopting, may I?
Well-
I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Just for discussion, the goals are required by state of Washington, and number 2, the purpose of the WUE plan is to encourage residents to use less water. How are they gonna monitor, see something coming that we're probably not gonna like in the future.
So we are already reporting our water usage to the Department of Health.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal, and one of the things that we have to accomplish, and I have assured them it's a goal of ours to get done by the end of 2026, is that those services that do not have meters will be metered.
Well,
So, because they want, technically, we're supposed to know, be able to account for the water that's coming out of the hole. So, and the goal is to stay within 10% loss. So this is just a way that they know that we are, A, keeping track of our water, which is effectively the city's only commodity. And second to that is that water is a precious resource, and we're trying to do our part to,
well, Mike, what if we don't pass this? What happens?
Our water plan doesn't get passed and we don't have the availability of funding based on our water plan.
well,
But our funding is
This-
just loans.
this is,
Not always.
we're trying to get our water system plan approved right now. So this is one of the boxes that have to get checked to sign off on it. This obviously is a 5-year and 10-year goal. So it's just something for us. We're just saying that we're,
I'm just gonna say unrealistic. I mean, the meters and in the next 3 years, seasonal summer demand, reduce seasonal summer demand by 25 gallons per day for residential customers within the next 10 years. Reduce total production from our wells by 5% within 10 years. I mean, not huge, but I mean, I don't like it, but.
I remember when he was here,
Mhm.
he said that those were the goals that you would want to accomplish, but that if you didn't meet them, that there wasn't consequences.
But they said that.
They said that, right? Yeah.
But apparently, we all know the government's not doing it for
Well,
nothing, so
the
there will be
government-
consequences to
the
that.
government's gonna change every 2 years. The people who are driving the boat changes frequently. So there was things that were agreed to 10 years ago that I haven't heard a peep about. So,
Until you did.
until I did.
Right.
Fortunately, 10 years ago, the only thing I've heard about is something that happened prior to 1945 that I can't find paperwork on.
How many meters are you guys not,
I mean, what?
how many meters are not installed that you guys are losing or using water out of?
7 properties.
That we know of.
No, there's 7 properties, and the frustrating thing is they are not properties. We were laughing about it, our library that has a toilet and a sink does not have a meter. And we may have 5 gallons a week leave the building there. It's gonna cost more to put in a meter than the water that we.
And that's going to be
use
true
here.
of all those properties, right?
Memorial Hall,
Yeah.
it would be relevant for the city park.
Yeah, that one I'll give you.
I was
So we
happy-
found there was a meter on the cemetery.
meter
This
on the
place didn't
cemetery.
have a meter, and now it does.
and now it
But
does, so
it
we
probably
checked out
wasn't
one of
going
those.
over the minimum,
No, we're not, so,
unless it has a leak. But
which would be nice to find. And it does, I mean, the
Yeah.
meters do make a difference. We found a number of them that, they say they don't use water, but the 30,000 gallons a month tells us different,
yeah, yeah.
so. Anyway. Okay, any other discussion? Okay. All in favor of adopting the water use efficiency plan, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm opposed.
And one opposed. Thank you.
Makes better press that way.
Yes. Okay. You guys were sent, I'm sorry that just came in Monday, but the Irrigators Inc., this is for replacing the pump at well 1. And it's there to be approved if you guys want to get it done. I can go over the details of what needs to be done, but pretty much it's empty the debris out and put a new submersible pump. And that quote does include the controller box. So one of the things we can check off is we will be able to program the controller box here and there so that the two can talk to each other.
So, well, first of all, we don't have a line between the two places, right?
We'll have to figure out the communication mechanism. Is it internet or, you know, is it a hard wire? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Unless I'm misreading this, this says this is a 10 horsepower Grundfos 77 gallon per minute.
Yeah, it does say that.
Yes, it does.
So this is not a turbine pump,
Well,
it's a,
I don't know how that translates to, no, gallons per minute or gallons per minute. It doesn't matter if it's a turbine or if it's in the ground.
submersible.
Yeah, we're gonna have to,
Wh-
okay.
what was our old
I'm
one
sorry.
pumping out? Do we have-
I assumed he was putting out the same thing. We're at,
A little bit over 200.
yeah, I think 220 gallons per minute is what comes to mind.
Yep.
So that's not gonna do what we need. So I'm sorry.
It would get us by.
It would
but
get us by.
wouldn't-
Yeah, it's not useless, but
I mean, that'd be the one that we would have refilling this, you know, reservoir overnight and then use the other one, but this is, I
It
mean, I know
also
we've got a
is-
smaller hole that we have to deal with,
77
and that's gonna have
gallons a
some
minute.
restrictions, but,
well, it also notes that it's set to 168 feet, which is nice. I like that. That's much deeper than it was before.
yes.
With 2.5 galvanized pipes. So that's the other thing that I guess if it's a 2.5-inch pipe, there's going to have.
We were supposed to be up to 4 inch.
I thought it was 4. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Maybe they mistaken, maybe they.
Was that because it won't fit down in the hole?
that little kink.
Yeah.
We gotta account for how much you have to get that, to make that corner.
The pipe has to have enough flex in it to get around that bend.
If it's too big, it's not gonna flex.
Well,
Don't they have
the-
poly-
The theory is that they'll get it down, probably never coming back out.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fine. That hole's by rights already dead now anyway.
Yeah, true, but, so the goal is to get the biggest pipe down there we can, and there was, I think, a 4-inch pipe that was down there right now. But it was only hung to 70 feet, it didn't have to make that corner. So,
Is that where the bend is right
yeah,
at 70?
it's 70 feet. The original well was dug to 70 feet.
Hmm.
And then it was having trouble keeping up, so they went down and they basically re-drilled the same hole, and obviously the bit took a,
Well, the history I have on it is 1956, they straightened it,
I think.
obviously.
I
Somebody,
think that may have been well, I don't know how, I'm thinking that that's when they re-drilled and tried to put it deeper.
Well, either way, the quote's inaccurate,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, okay,
let's,
let's pull that up. Okay, sorry about that.
no worries.
Okay, discussion for the utility rate changes, specifically for water. Stephen, have you had a chance to?
I did get some progress on it. I have a few questions of Cassie, and I think unless there's an urgency, I would suggest that we table this until we're a 5-person council again. I don't really want to make that vote on 4 myself.
Okay. Let me just throw out one thing while we're on this topic. Again, for our water system plan, we have to present, right now, our water rates are not viable for the future. It's just economically not gonna keep us going. And again, like I mentioned once before, our rates for water are supposed to pay for the water without being subsidized. So, in other words, we can't use revenue that we're getting for wastewater to offset deficits with what we're paying to maintain the water system.
Okay.
So each of those are supposed to, for the most part, carry their own weight. So in the long-term projections is our water system, as it sits right now, is not going to pay its own way into the future. So that's something to consider. And then when we're doing this, again, for our water system planning, quite honestly, for planning for the city, we can't just look at the next year. We do need to put some measures in place so that we're anticipating what those rates look like for 5 years. And considering we have not changed our water rates in at least 6 years, I don't know when the last time was. So it just has not kept up. So I just want to throw that out as something for you guys to consider is our water system is an expensive piece of living in a city, and it's got to be paid for.
How's, what's proposed? I was not present, I did listen to the part of the meeting last month.
There were a lot of things that were kind of kicked around.
But has there been a comparison in population of other cities and towns in Lincoln County?
Yes, but I don't have them off the top of my head.
I mean-
There's been a number of.
I'm not asking you to give them tonight, but I mean, has there been other comparisons?
I think Cassie
And
did.
Cassie's actually in the middle of working with RCAC on having a, what is that called, Cassie?
A rate study. It's not gonna be done anytime quickly. This is gonna be like a long-term thing, so this won't be a really quick, they're gonna come over, we're gonna do this. It's gathering data, compiling data, looking at numbers, looking at meters, what's functioning, what's not functioning, what we're gonna have to replace, things like that. It's a whole plan in place with it's like a whole study of our entire water utility system. So that will be good to have.
I like those buzzwords, a study. Is that Olympia? By the way?
It's not costing us anything, David.
Right, but I mean, that we,
That's you said RCAC?
Yeah. Okay. Additions to the agenda. Cemetery endowment, David.
okay. Kind of fits into everything, but this has been kind of been put on the back burner for a couple years, I believe, but even more so now, I would like to see council get on the stick and get this taken care of by the end of this year.
How about the next council meeting?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it evolved. We got to get this, what it was intended to do, the endowment. We got to get it working for us, working for the cemetery, that is. Right now, it's just been stagnated.
Okay.
It
And,
needs to be separated from cities.
correct.
That will be done by the end of the month.
And if I know we haven't had much luck with finding a financial board. So my recommendation would be to hire a financial institution that their endowments are part of their forte and professional everyday life, and we turn it over to them with the council. Same. We don't just give it to them, but we monitor it. But they get it to working where it should be.
Okay.
And that's where council's probably gonna agree, disagree, and that's gonna be the sticky part, is
Okay.
finding who we want to do that. But I mean, that's kind
Do
of
you have a
important.
timeline? I mean, by,
Well, before the end of the year, I'd like to see it
okay.
change, but I mean, because I don't think it's something that we could do by next meeting, by any stretch. It'd be nice,
What are
but
you guys trying to do, if I don't mind me asking? Put a cemetery?
yeah, cemetery, we have a,
Split them, separate from the city?
we have a fairly large amount of money donated in the cemetery endowment, perpetual endowment. We are allowed to use it for the cemetery, maintenance and repair and so forth, the interest that it makes. From the inception, it was just put into, I won't go down that rabbit hole, but it was making zero, basically. It was making something, but nothing compared to what the endowment, over $500,000 should have been making. And so, right now, it's in a state pool, and it's commingled with city funds to some degree.
That's what's gonna be done before the end of the month.
Yeah, okay.
So when you guys see the cemetery endowment, it will be that and that alone. You don't have to guess what part is which. So,
As long as it gets separated again, putting it under the management of some company makes no difference, as long as it's isolated.
yeah. And that's, that should have been done in the very beginning, and it wasn't.
It should have
so
never
it's-
been commingled in the first place.
Exactly, so.
But it was just parked over there as a safety because nobody could agree on stuff, and they were still doing research on what the heck was going
Still,
on.
I mean, even if it was in the savings account,
Did
it
we
should have
have
been two separate savings accounts. But the bottom line is we
multiple
will have
meetings on
those,
that?
those two funds.
Well, I-
The city reserves
Right.
and the cemetery endowment will be separate, period. So,
Okay, that was kind of my,
so that'll be done, but then what to do after that is what you're talking about.
correction, to get it to work and to where it should take a heck of a chunk out of expense for us up there.
I'm still gonna put it on the October agenda.
Sure,
just because
sure.
it's.
I'd say we could
it's a
definitely
big
talk
whale, so
about
It's
it.
gonna have to be talked about.
Yeah. Whether we decide in one meeting, probably not, because I imagine it's gonna probably be interviewing some firms and who's willing and what they can offer.
Okay.
Reservoirs,
Do you want to do some research on the institutions that you want to suggest to the rest of the council?
I know of one, and I think it was before you took mayor, I suggested, and he agreed to come down or on the phone, and
Okay,
they handle endowments much larger than $500,000,
sure.
but as a,
Do you want to bring a couple of names to the next meeting?
I'll do that.
Okay. Okay. Anything else on that?
No, I'm good, so. I just like to get the dialogue, get the wheels going on it.
Absolutely.
Not like we have anything else to do, right?
Okay, water reservoir capacity.
Okay.
Is another item.
That, given the situation that we just discussed with the well number one, we know that it will be, it sounds like it'll be reduced in flow or output to some degree. How much, we don't know
Well, hopefully
exactly.
not at all. I need to find out why that's so different
But-
than what I was told was gonna be able to be done. So
But
I'm
possibly,
hoping that's a typo.
right, well, very well could be. But I know if memory serves correct, this has been discussed probably a couple decades ago in the works. And it seems to be on the forefront and a concern of everybody, or has come up. We got a water tank that, I know about 5-6 years ago, they were talking about, they were after them to fix that or replace it for whatever reason. I mean, I won't bring that up, but if we have a water situation, well issues and slower pumps, I think it behooves us to put up more reservoirs or more capacity,
So,
because
yes.
go ahead.
The water system plan
Addresses
that I
that.
briefed through is originally it called for a replacement to that, a bigger one, but due to the simple cost of building them, it's like if you got it, repair it, maintain it, don't get rid of it. But it's to add a second reservoir. Up on the hill, someplace up there, maybe it could even be the corner of the cemetery that isn't being used is get cordoned off. It's just been thrown around. There's no ideas or plans, but it does call for a second reservoir. It's not just water volume, it's firefighting. Fire capacity is one of the biggest concerns, which is gonna be addressed in the whole plan, bigger pipes, more water capacity, what have you. So that's all in there. It's just a matter of, once that's approved, then you start finding funding to do it. And a proper water tank is at about 2.5 right now to put in,
How many gallons for,
probably 200,000. And that, we have 115 right now. So it'd be basically twice the capacity that we have right now.
do we, Mr. Mayor, do we know that is being filled up to its capacity, the current one? That I forget who told me a while back,
We
had a concern about that.
We do not.
No, the overflow has not run in months.
So we did have somebody go up to, because we needed to get an inspection of the hatch that's up there. Unfortunately, I didn't know when he was going up, so he did not have keys when he got up there, and that hatch is locked.
And a flashlight.
But the bigger concern was the ladder mechanism that you climb up.
Not safe.
He more than once was like, this is insane that he was doing it. So he made it clear that he would never go up that again. So
Do we have a height on that by any chance? I don't know. I've never
got the
climbed
specs
it. but-
someplace, but I don't know.
Did you? I never have. I don't couldn't tell you.
I'm guessing it's 80, 100 feet.
My
Well, there
cousin's
was-
climbed it.
So basically, the ladder
Mm-hmm.
has got a piece of flat iron that goes up to, and there's a post that comes out of the top of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if the post goes all the way through into the tank down to the bottom is anchored, or if it's just welded to the top or riveted, as probably the cases be. But you can't see around the backside to see if it's corroded, if it's rusted. You don't know what shape the post is.
Is that-
the post gonna? It's just a post sticking up with basically a there's a collar, or it's basically the ladder was sitting out on
Was
the top of it.
that the float or the level gauge, or is that for ladder?
No, I'm talking about the ladder that you
Okay.
climb up to inspect
Well-
the upper parts of it, and it was just,
I was told, I wouldn't doubt it. Probably, yeah.
I
Probably
mean, it
needs
might be
some
perfectly
attention.
fine, but that's a really poor place to find out that it's not.
Yeah. That there was a float exposed on the tank. Is that
There-
operational, or is
yeah,
that?
we saw that, that's it. There's basically a weight that's on a rail.
But it doesn't work.
It
It's
doesn't work.
stuck or
It's
something?
probably stuck. It needed to
Okay.
be regularly applied with grease, and it hasn't been, so I'm sure it's just as dry as a bone up there. If we really wanna throw it out, I mean, last bid I got to do everything that is recommended to be
With that
done on
tank.
that thing, with that particular tank, it's about $250,000 in different maintenance projects and all the rest of it. There's probably 24 different tasks that could be addressed.
Okay, and when they do this maintenance, how do they keep it? How do they keep it in service? All the maintenance they need to do.
That's-
Obviously, they could
We should be paying for
another tank.
tank. I mean, there's companies out there that's all they do. Pittsburgh Tank is one of them, and that's all they do is they send around technicians to tighten the windage rods and grease the float, channel and all the rest of that.
And I believe these type of tanks, aren't the newer ones, aren't they a concrete
They're
type?
There are all kinds. I mean, apparently Deer Park put one in a couple of years ago that is absolutely an engineering marvel. I have no clue what it's made out of.
This is all covered in the water plan, though, correct?
Yes, it's being addressed in our water system plan.
Once the water system plan is approved, we have the ability to try and get funding for all of this stuff.
Correct.
Somebody needs help.
Dragging that awning down the road?
I think so. I didn't know our meetings were that boring. Anyway,
Okay, well,
So
that was
lock
just,
him in.
So yes, the water system plan gets those items addressed. Not only the maintenance for up there, but adding the water, another water reservoir.
or two.
Well, the
So
plan
let's
doesn't
get-
get anything addressed.
The-
The plan makes a way
It
for
addresses-
funds that,
yes.
but it's not a pedantic distinction. There's a, like, having the plan and actually getting the funding for the plan are two very different things. The one is a prerequisite, and I'm in favor of us having a plan and getting grants. I'm all in favor of that, but
Yeah,
it doesn't actually fix anything.
no, but we don't get any funding
Correct.
without the plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on that topic?
Well, not at this time, no.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, we're up to our consent agenda, minus the claims.
Move to approve.
Second,
As amended as far as Jody Morse in the minutes.
Jody Morris, is that the other
So Julie.
Okay.
Morris?
Morse, M-O-R-S-E, I believe.
Oh, Morse.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Okay. All in favor of the consent agenda as amended? Signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Okay, we pulled claims out to address.
Basically just clarification. Several of them, Central Machinery, the front axle on the backhoe.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah,
It had to be done. But just future, we already know this is beating a dead horse. But that's damn near what that backhoe is probably worth. And I'm like, and I don't, I'm just saying that's something on our bucket list going forward. They use the heck out of that still, don't they?
yeah, so it was going to fail someday.
Right.
Just the nature of the beast, it's old, what have you. We will be taking steps into the future so that any other wear and tear on that machine is reduced. The one obvious thing is when people ask to purchase gravel or dirt or what have you, we will no longer be using that machine to drive it all the way through the city and deliver it. So we've got a perfectly good
That's smart.
backhoe, or I mean a flatbed with a tilt bed on it, so we can, if they want a couple of buckets of gravel, that's fine. They're just not gonna be able to drop it right exactly where somebody wants it anymore. It's gonna get close and they'll have to, or they can come down there and we'll, I'm not actually, I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm not convinced that's the way to go, to load somebody's
I know
car. I
you're
think that's a bad idea, but we can use our backhoe to get it there.
I guess
That's
the
all right.
bigger concern, and I don't know if this is where you were going, David, but I would, understand there's a certain degree of discretion in what gets done in the office and stuff, but given David's point about that investment being nearly what it's worth, I think in the future it would be wise to have the council have input on things when we're basically putting the same amount of money into something as it's worth.
We had done actually, when that came about, we had shopped around for used ones, what they were gonna cost, and they were actually closer to the $25,000 to $30,000 range for ones that were about in the same shape. I mean, it's,
Well, sure, but we've also put, what, 5-6 grand into this thing lately? When we got
Something like
I mean,
that.
this is not,
earlier this year, we had
We
to
probably got
build
30
all the
into it.
seals
Yeah.
in the cylinders,
Right.
so. No, as far as I'm concerned.
It better be
that's-
close to new at
that's-
this point.
That's the
It's a paint job.
last big ticket that we fix on this thing. I mean, if, from here forward, it's Band-Aid time and milk it for all it's worth.
My only concern is that large of a dollar amount should have gone through the procurement processes.
well,
Even though it's a maintenance.
maintenance item, so it doesn't have to.
And it was already at that shop when we thought it was a broken U-joint and maybe something else that had the axle pulled, but when they actually pulled it out, they found that the housing of the axle housing, the whole bell and everything had been damaged in the process.
I would like to see it. I mean, it's equipment, and a few of us know what that's like. I mean, it's just damned expensive this day and age. But what percentage? I'd say betting that half of that is labor. I could be wrong on that, but that's just usually the way it floats.
Actually, the labor was actually somewhat reasonable. If I remember right, the bulk of it was the axle itself, getting a used axle.
Is it used axle?
I've got it on my computer.
Yeah, you don't have to look it up, but I'm just saying, you're paying higher wages for everything now, and yada yada. But I mean, the point is that we either save some or in the back burner, keep in mind that we're gonna have to say adios to that and surplus it out and get a
Agreed.
$40,000-$50,000 used one.
Agreed.
Because that is kind of the backbone. You can't drive the mini or the mini excavator, and I mean, it's
Well,
handy.
yeah.
It has its place.
Well,
but,
and we used that mini to its full capacity
Right.
while this
Those-
was down.
that was a good investment. There's no doubt about that. But, for it's either that or a small loader, but the backhoe is more versatile. It covers,
Get a skid
More-
steer.
yeah. There you're talking some money.
Yeah.
Seriously, with the skid steer, you can do snow removal, you can do snow plowing, you can do,
You can put a backhoe attachment in front of the skid steer too.
Yeah, but they are nice, though. They are good. Anyways, that was my point about that. For general conversation, the other one I had was the asphalt paving patching for City Hall. Was that out here?
Yeah, it was those two.
What-
And that was cheaper because we tied into the same company that was doing the patching up there on the
Yeah.
ADA ramps.
And they
We
still-
tied in with them, so we basically didn't have to pay for them to come out for a special job because they were here already.
And when we did that, we didn't do no street pothole or any of those patches at the same time.
oh, they did a few. They patched the hole up by the city, they did,
By the city.
or by the school.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, they did do that? Okay.
Okay. I was just wondering, because that seems very high for this. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. Everything costs.
Well, and it caught my attention too. I just told them, it's gotta get done and
Right.
let's maximize everything, so they were gonna charge us another $1,300 on top of that just for bringing out the material. It's like, yeah, you're already out here.
And the other one's Winkler, sidewalk repair in the city. What sidewalks did we have go? This one here?
This one right behind us. So,
So that was $3,700 to put in.
3685. It's
Yeah.
almost.
I think they touched something else, but that's primarily to do that and do it correctly.
Jeez and criminy. I had that whole front patio and the front entry to the restaurant done for $2,000.
So, well, I think there was some other stuff.
Did I see something about a sonotube pour at the shop?
No, that's just concrete, that was just a concrete pour. We set the sonotubes up at the school, and we also set the forms for the foundation rebuild down at the shop, down at number 1.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know if you guys saw, but we had to dig in there to fix a line. And then come to find out the foundation there was broken, so they basically cleaned it up and put forms there, and when we had the chance, we put concrete in it.
Okay. Had to do what you had to do. Okay, AAA concrete for sonotube and shock wall. Now, that one I would have expected maybe a little higher when you're dealing with that
Well,
type
and
of stuff.
quite honestly, I wanted to do it myself, and the guys are like going, we have a certain skill set, and finish work on concrete is not one of them. So,
It's, yeah.
okay.
Okay, well, I'm good on that, so if we want to,
So do we have a motion to approve these claims?
I make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
Okay. Okay. Stephen, are you still listening?
I'm still listening.
Okay.
I'd like to see Winkler's invoice.
Oh, okay.
Before I. This says that Winkler was at 2 locations.
Winkler was, yeah.
That's, yes,
Glover?
that's right. There was we had to tear up a sidewalk over, I think on Sherlock.
Thank you, Kathy.
Or this next street over.
Glover?
Glover.
Here's what it
We had
said.
to tear up, we had a service line that broke.
Okay, right, the one where the leak was?
It was over there, it was like January of last year,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just been sitting in gravel the whole time, and it was.
Oh, are you talking about the one by the Methodist Church?
On the other side, they were related somehow to Casper, I remember that. But we had to take out a sidewalk to replace the service line, it's just been sitting there.
Do you remember roughly how much?
How much dollar figure?
How many feet of sidewalk?
It was a fair chunk, a couple sections. So
Okay.
probably 10.
If we were paying $3,700 for 4 feet of sidewalk, I was not going to vote
Yeah.
without running that to ground. At least it sounds like there was some more than just that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, unless it's in the middle of the street, I try to
Right.
patch as much together as I can. Okay, so we have a motion, first and seconded, to accept the claims. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Mayor's comments. It's been a long day, so I will try to make this brief. ADA ramps. That project got done pretty much in a week. When they did their walkthrough, there was probably a couple of things. Unfortunately, Ken was not in town at that time, so they did address a couple of things, but he mentioned there was a couple of minor other things he'd rather have seen corrected, but nothing to be done. But that is done and paid for, and next year the goal is to see if we can't get funding to basically do the same kind of stuff on this side of the city.
Did they get done, all of them that they were intending? Because I believe it was funding until it runs out, right?
Well, they had, actually, the bid came in quite a bit less than, there was
there was
probably
leftover money.
There was probably $100,000 that was left. We could have probably gotten more done. They targeted, I think, 22, and no, all of those got done.
Okay.
So
And that's all passed through, right?
that's not passed through.
Yeah.
The city did not pay for anything on that directly. I will say, be careful when you look a gift horse in the mouth, though, because I've had other stuff that has cost us money that is good for the city.
No, the only thing that gets me on that is they replaced the ramps on flat ground at the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My,
Where we need it, it wasn't touched, so, another conversation.
My only issue with that whole thing was when they closed the highway without actually using traffic control.
And that was a problem, and that was addressed rather vigorously on the spot with the engineer. So I understand they got in touch with DOT, and that got resolved pretty quick. I got a phone call from DOT to get that fixed. So, as you guys know, we got some crosswalk signs from, some solar-powered crosswalk signs from DOT.
Solar powered crosswalk, okay.
They're not up yet. They required quite a bit, that's where the sonotubes came from. So we had to pull out the existing crosswalk signs and put the standards in for these, and they managed to ship them without the triggers to turn them on. So they either got lost or whatever, so we had to go get them so we could finish the build.
The location,
They
School?
are next to the school. You know where the green turtles are that they put out to tell people to slow down?
Yeah.
That crosswalk. So basically they'll hit the button and they'll be flashing crossing sign.
Does that mean the turtles are endangered species?
I
now?
think they are.
I never realized those were turtles. Except they're weird little green things.
You'll probably look at it
Don't
in a
move
different.
fast enough to get out of the way when you drive over them.
Learn something
Okay.
new every day.
I will leave it at that. Any additional public comments?
I also asked about the results of the ephemeral stream.
Oh,
discussion.
yes, okay. As I mentioned, I did manage to get, and I guess it was quite the undertaking, people were impressed, but we had Department of Transportation, Department of Ecology, Department of Fish and Wildlife, and Natural Resources come out. The only person we didn't get was the Army Corps of Engineers to look at our, what I referred to as a canal. They let me know that it is considered a no-named ephemeral stream. And if you need to look that up, I'll help you
What
out.
is
It's
it?
just, it means temporary. That's all it means.
Seasonal or temporary or
Just
something?
temporary. They don't even dare call it seasonal.
Okay.
I tried to get them to give it up, but they are not going to give up the fact that it's, that particular piece of real estate is under their control from a regulation point of view, but it is ours. The only thing that it says is that we, before we go in and clean it, we have to apply for and get a permit to do so. And when we get a permit, it's typically for 5 years.
From whom?
All of them. So, I have to apply for and get a permit from Fish and Wildlife
Okay, I got you.
and Natural Resources. The ironic is because it's on the FEMA map, they actually, the way the rules are, the city has to issue a permit to itself to work in a flood zone. And really, the only thing that they were concerned about was that we didn't do anything to upset the dirt in such a way that it would create silt downstream into the stream bed,
You mean a dry creek bed?
the dry creek bed. But
And do they
Fish
feel
and-
like we had done that thus far?
they didn't even have a concern. We already told them what we'd done and they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. I mean, it was not a big deal. They just said, in the future, just because it's under their control, file for a permit. Here's what you
Formalities.
say, here's what you do, we're good with it.
And we do have to have permission from the landowners to go in there.
No, it's under their jurisdiction and control. They made it clear we can't do anything about the property outside the lip of it. But in there, that's the,
You're saying it's we own it, they control it.
Is there an
So,
easement,
yeah.
a right of way to it at all?
I was gonna say,
doesn't have to be, because it's an ephemeral stream. And quite honestly, I asked exactly what does that mean, and they said, we actually go through training on a regular basis where it sounds like it's a moving target every year, depending on what the leadership is of that particular DNR or whatever, that definition moves and changes.
Well, I'm kind of curious if I bought property and had it surveyed, what they would come up with.
well, that's my concern. I mean, somebody owns that property. According to Lincoln County, they own that piece of ground. And now I'm being told because there's this creek bed that runs through it, the city actually owns
Yeah, so
that
that's,
3 feet wide section through the middle of their property.
that's the part I would
It's
like to know
it's
the
like a
property.
right-of-way.
What? Yeah,
In concept, I don't wanna say in theory, in concept, it's like a right-of-way where where the property owner actually owns the right-of-way, but it's under the control of the city. So in this case,
I thought it had to be part of the city's critical area ordinance for that to take precedence.
which we have to review, and I know.
CAO.
there's the
But that
CAO,
creek
there's
is
one out there.
part of that.
the
Yeah.
creek
Or the
is,
ephemeral stream is a part of that.
Yeah.
It is.
I'd call it a drainage ditch.
I'd have to
is what it's
reread
been called,
it,
but-
but.
I
I'm
asked
just-
for a copy of that. I couldn't find it in it, and I couldn't get an actual signed copy of that particular ordinance. So
I
That
could
was
I could be
done-
wrong.
that
It's
was done
been
in- we did that in 2020, 2?
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen it. I could be, my memory could be wrong, but I thought I remember when we talked about floodplains and everything. I'm pretty sure when we talked about all the vulnerable areas to water and flooding and all that kind of stuff, I remember that being a part of it. But maybe I'm wrong. But it is one of the major features that, like, if we had a critical areas ordinance that didn't talk about the potential creek running through town, I'd be like, what are we talking about then?
Right. So in that discussion, there was, the bigger discussion was at the far east side of town where the concrete starts. There's an old bridge with made out of railroad timbers that is blocked off. It's not safe to go over. But it is technically our alley way that's right there. And so we're gonna explore what we can do to get a culvert put in there and have it filled in so things like fire trucks can get through there without crashing into something. So,
So, to address one of the concerns, if a property owner has a bridge or a walkway through it, over it, I think that was the rub, wasn't it?
that's what started the conversation,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
It's their property. They want to put something over the top of it. It's their property.
I'm just telling you what I was told.
right, I just, I'm not trying to bust you to an answer, but I mean, I think that would be, in the future, not now, but the future, we need to clarify that. You say, right, is it an actual right of way? Because there's different there's different things
It's
that
not
go
actually.
along with that.
It's a stream,
Right.
so is a temporary stream. It follows a different set of.
So far as we know, it's legal for any property, or any owner that owns property there, they could put whatever bridge over it all day long.
Oh, I know it.
I mean,
As long as you stay 2 feet out of the actual high water mark, yep.
Well,
I don't know, but I don't want to open a
I'd
can
have
of
to,
worms.
I'd have to do more research to really know, quite honestly.
The attorney didn't
It
have
just-
an answer?
I didn't bring the attorney in,
Oh.
well, I didn't bring the attorney in on that. It's like, let's figure out what the state views this as before we do anything else. So,
Well, and when the attorney was involved before, he made his opinion on what we could do
Well,
pretty.
when it's a stream
Aggressive.
falls under the jurisdiction of the city that it goes through. That's
Right.
RCW. So, it's this
Have we
temporary,
heard anything
category.
more from?
not a
The
word.
parties involved.
No.
Okay.
I don't know, to me, I would like, the city, I'd like in the future, more clarification on that.
Well,
As to
technically,
other-
that thing starts on your property up past me.
Yeah. Well, runoff is, all the runoff around here is gonna go someplace.
Yeah, I mean, I was up there looking at, I thought we'd had a water main break because it was right there and I was freaking out, so.
You didn't?
When it was pouring, I walked up there and no, it's just your field and from the cemetery and everything uphill from there, it channels down to that point. So,
Well,
it's just one of those weird things. I'm just glad it only ran for 2 days and it was
well,
done.
I'm merely trying to alleviate, financial burdens and problems with the city and property owners, that everybody comes to an agreement or understands,
I just want the thing cleaned out and maintained so it's not a fire hazard, A, and B, it's not a potential choke point for debris coming down and flooding the city.
Well, what
That's
it'll
all I
do,
care about.
if there's debris in it, and if it's blocked in any way, it doesn't serve the purpose, and it'll cause a flooding of it'll divert to other,
Yeah, water's gonna go
streets
where
or
it's gonna go,
whatever.
so I wanna let water go where I want it to go as easily as possible, so. Okay, anything else?
Just last thing, did we hear anything from Mr. Snow regarding the
Vending machine.
vending machines?
No, I have not heard anything else.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that this time.
I saw it in the minutes. So.
All right.
Yeah, no, we've not been approached with any.
Well, what is it that, because again, I just listened to it, but what,
He wants a vending machine
machines
up
up
by
at the park.
but I mean, something about a business plan, or what is it that we're requiring or want to know?
That was the ask, is come to the city with a business plan, a business proposal
Right,
to do that.
he didn't have that, he just wants to put machines up there, correct?
The same thing you have at freaking rest stops.
Yeah.
Trash everywhere.
Basically,
Well,
so,
you got a captive audience up there, I mean, might as well capitalize on it.
so. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So we put public comments in the beginning and we put them at the end in case anybody has any questions. So any other public comments before we close shop?
I got law enforcement report.
I'd love to hear it.
So for the month of August, looks like we had 2 civil situations. 1 traffic offense, that was an 18-year-old riding around on a dirt bike. Looked like that seems to be kind of an ongoing problem down here, so we keep an eye out for that. And then we had a citizen assist, somebody locked their keys in their car, but before we got down here, they got back into their car. A suspicious, a lady was suspecting her neighbor of killing her ducks. There was no evidence to suggest that. And then 2 paper services for a total of 7 calls.
All right.
For the month of August.
Yep. And then a bonus one right there.
Yeah.
What was it?
That'll be on September's report.
The awning on that thing was broken and the rod was just dragging down the road.
You didn't even know it?
But she did know it. She was moving it from the back of her house to the front of her
Oh,
house. And I'm like, we probably want to make sure that's secured if we're moving that thing. We had a nice conversation.
Okay.
Okay, do we have anything to entertain from you guys?
I motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion to adjourn is received. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Jeff.
You guys are awful quiet, how come the?